underneath.
And is it possible to get your ganache recipe?
Yes, so my ganache recipe, it's very simple. I can tell it to you right now.
Excellent.
It is 600 grams of chocolate, and I use the Guittard chips, dark, not milk. 600 grams of dark chocolate ganache, or chocolate chips, and 300 grams of heavy whipping cream. And what I do is I heat the whipping cream in the microwave, the heavy whipping cream. For my microwave is 300 grams, and I whip it I heat it for 3 minutes until it's just starting to boil. And then I pour it over the chocolate chips. I let it sit for a minute, and then I start stirring. And when you start stirring, it's gonna look like it's curdled. It's gonna get really kind of funky looking, and it's gonna look like it curdled. Keep stirring. As it comes together, it creates this beautiful, silky, smooth ganache. And if at that point, if you wanted to, you could pour it over your cakes and get that nice, beautiful, shiny. This is gonna dry dull. But if I were to pour it over my cakes while it was still liquid, it gives you that beautiful, shiny chocolate. So maybe I should do that. I haven't ever done that on camera.
Sure.
Show how to do that.
Sure.
You need 2 people to do that, which sounds really
excellent.
weird. But the reason you need 2 people is because you're pouring it right down the center, and it's growing. And you have to have a person on the other side saying, oh, put a little more over here, put a little more over there. You could spin it as you do it, and you just kind of go around the edges and spin it. But I always have my husband on the other side going, add over here, add over there, so I don't miss any. But anyway, so you get that beautiful liquid, and then you can put it on your counter. You don't want to put it in your fridge. You put it on your counter. It is shelf stable. You put it on your counter, and you let it sit for a few hours. Or overnight. If you let it sit overnight, you're going to have to microwave it. But if you let it sit for a couple of hours, it gets to the texture, the consistency of peanut butter. And that's exactly where you want it. And then it spreads on like this, really nice and smooth. And
Very cool. It also keeps it tasty.
it does. It tastes so good. And while I said this hardens, it will harden underneath. But the minute you put the fondant on, it gets soft again. And so, I mean, not the minute you do, because you want it to be hard while you're putting the fondant on, but before you serve the cake, it's gonna loosen up again. It's gonna get this texture so that when people cut into your cake, they get this yummy layer of fudge, like this fudgy ganache, which I think is just delicious. All right, so I think I've got the whole thing covered.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so now it's time to smooth, because the whole point of ganache is to have smooth. So I'm gonna start with my offset spatula.
Oh yeah, offset spatula.
Offset
or
spatula.
angled spatula, depending on whatever.
Really? Do they call it an angled
Somebody
spatula?
do, yeah. Angled spatula.
I've always heard it called an offset spatula.
Yeah, I've heard both.
I just flung chocolate
But the
on
reason you have an offset spatula is
because if you were trying to do it straight, the handle might hit. So the offset
you're
spatula
gonna drag your
works.
knuckles into the thing.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
offset spatula works better.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm just kind of starting to smooth them all over.
And yours, that one is about a medium. I've seen smaller.
They have smaller ones.
They
They
have
have
all
bigger.
different
Well, I don't know if they have
sizes,
smaller than that.
Yeah, they do.
They do?
Yeah.
And they have big ones. I
Yeah.
tend to very rarely. I bought these to smooth my big cakes, and I end up never using them because I use a bench scraper, and I use these
Yeah.
all the time.
Most people end up finding the tool that works best for them, and they stick with it.
Yeah. So I'm just kind of smoothing him around, getting him to have no big lumps or bumps. Okay.
See, now it looks like a chocolate M&M or a dancing peanut.
Yes, a dancing peanut.
It's okay.
All right.
The peanut guy with a top hat. Yeah.
You could do
That's
him.
Mr.
This
Peanut.
would be a perfect Mr. Peanut.
That would be great.
We could use this structure to make a Mr.
Yeah.
Peanut. All right. Okay.